has no story. Rocket League has no characters. Rocket League has a limited progression system. But Rocket League could very well be one of the best games of the year. And if you haven't noticed, I do like to say Rocket League. And there's a reason. It's not supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars. What's in a name? Apparently a lot. The Psyonix PS3 exclusive game that apparently no one except Yumbo played. The original reportedly had 3 arenas, inconsistent online connectivity, and patchy performance at best. But Rocket League is a refined model, accessible and with depth. So what is it? It's a soccer game with cars that fly. And if you understand that principle of soccer, you understand where we're coming from. The thing is, it's addictive, it's simple, and it's challenging. And if you have a group of friends playing alongside, it's all the more awesome. You can drive on the walls, you can drive on the ceiling in this game, and to win, you'll need to. You'll also need to master your jump, boost management, and aerial play. Essentially, all the hand-eye coordination you can muster. And that's just to prevail in unranked matches. Fortunately, Rocket League does have an offline mode against bots and an excellent training tutorial. The bots are actually a decent challenge and provide just enough skill and chaos to practice for the big leagues. But a pro tip, do all the tutorials at least twice before you get into the game. You won't regret it. Once you have mastered the basics, Rocket League does let you unleash, but you do start to see some shortcomings when you look at the vehicles and the upgrade system. Sure, you can unlock new wheels, antennae decorations, decals, and rocket boosts for your cars, but it feels so cosmetic, and that's because it is. Whilst there is a ranking system based on hours played, the items you unlock do not affect the performance of your vehicle in any way. Additionally, every car in the game, from a sassy coupe to a beefy pie van, possess identical handling and performance. Perhaps there could have been more nuance and role-playing to the game had there been specific capabilities or attributes for each vehicle. Imagine a perfect mixed team, just the right amount of defensive capability in a fullback-style heavier vehicle, a wiry centre forward with extra capabilities, and a couple of wingmen on the sidelines with the pace of no others on the field. So how long can an online game last without such systems in play? In the case of Rocket League, this thing could go on indefinitely. The excellent cosplay feature to allow PS4 and PC players to compete in the same match is not the only reason. And whilst upgrades are only cosmetic, the balanced approach means that every game is played on a level playing field. Your success, or lack thereof, has one determinant: your performance. The risks you are willing to take will make the difference. Should I go for that ball, or fall back to ready a defensive stance? Should I boost into that cacophony of cars in front of the goal mouth, or sit back in case the ball spews out towards my own goal? Risk and reward gameplay at its finest. The graphics are crisp and suit the genre, a satisfying visual feast of colours on each map, with trails streaming off cars and even the ball when struck, subtly indicating the team that last smacked it. With detailed mini-cars zooming around futuristic football fields, the visuals come together well. Built on the aging Unreal 3 engine, it has some excellent scaling, running easily on a low-spec laptop with mid-range settings, and still manages to look stunning on a high-end PC and on the PlayStation 4. Sound is serviceable, audio cues are useful, and the satisfaction of the visual and sound cues you get when you score never gets old. But the game moves at such a ferocious pace, you can easily just mute the audio. In fact, I prefer it to allow focus on the purity of the gameplay. Want to use voice chat or TeamSpeak? Go for it. But you simply just won't have the time to talk and plan. The game is best played by each player reading the flow of the ball and working together to cover off the gaps, making the right plays count. To the initiated, the stellar Unreal Tournament mod, Carball, released back in the early 2000s, seems awfully familiar, and that's because it is. The lads from Psyonix were commercially responsible for vehicle assets in Unreal Tournament's game engine back in the day. Whilst they did not develop the mod, I found it particularly interesting when Psyonix responded to a query on their forums from a fan. They responded with, "We did not make that mod and have no connections to it." It would have been nice of Psyonix to at least acknowledge the mod that clearly inspired this game. Do a Google search if you're interested. The similarities are striking. Of course, there may be some legal aspects of this conversation that we are simply not privy to. Rocket League is here to stay, with MLG promising to tackle the game on a competitive scale, an even balanced system, dedicated servers, exceptional number of concurrent players online, and the easy to learn, hard to master mechanics. Rocket League is something special. Perhaps it will need to evolve to keep players returning in the long run, including looking at a greater nuance with unlocks and leveling. But paradoxically, this is also what makes the game so awesome and accessible for both the high-ranked players and those still rolling onto the field for their first match. The game, quite simply, defines fun. Now, time to go play me some cardboard.